What is going on, guys? My name is Lloyd, and for today's video we will be talking about Java variables. So now when using Java variables, you will always encounter this what we call data type. And in this video I will be introducing to you the 5 most common data type in Java. So first we have our string data type, and also we have our int, followed by our char data type, and also we have double data type, and also we have Boolean data type. Now keep in mind, guys, that each one of these data type has a specific purpose. And now when declaring Java variables or when creating Java variables, it is very important that we have a syntax to follow. So let's start by having our data type, and then followed by the name of our variable, and then we have our equal sign. Now right after the equal sign will be the value for our variable. So let me just put here value, and of course we have to end this line with a semicolon. So that's it. Let's say we want to create a program in which we will collect all the necessary information of the student. So now in this case we will be needing a variable that will store the student's name, student's age, student's gender, and also its GPA, and also we need a variable that will indicate whether this student was able to pass this semester or not. So now let's begin by creating a variable in which we will place our student's name. So in this case we will use string data type as our data type. So take note, guys, that we are following this syntax right here. Okay, so let's use string as our data type, and let's just name our variable as student name. By the way, guys, you can name your variable any name you want. Okay, so and now let's just have our equal sign, and let's say our student's name will be John Cruz. Okay, and then let's end this line with a semicolon. So now, guys, we just created our first variable, and notice that we already used first data type, which is the string data type. So keep in mind, guys, that we can only use string data type whenever the value for our variable contains a multiple character. So that might be a word or a phrase or a sentence. Now in this case we have John Cruz as the value for our variable. And also, guys, keep in mind that whenever we use string data type, we should always place the value for our variable within this double quotation. Yes, that's it. Now let's try to create another variable, and in this case we want to create a variable in which we will place the age of the student. And in this case, let me use int as our data type, and then let's name this variable as age. Then we have our equal sign, and then let's say 17 as the value, assuming that John Cruz is 17 years old. Now we have another data type, guys, that we used, and in this case we use int data type. So int data type stands for integer, and we can only use this data type whenever the value for our variable contains an integer. So now let's say we want to create another variable, and in this case we want to create the variable in which we will place the gender of our student. And in this case, let's use char as our data type, and let's name our variable gender, and then we have our equal sign, and then in this case I want to set its value as m, stands for male, assuming that John Cruz is male. Now another data type, guys, that we use, we have char data type. Okay, so char data type, guys, will only be used whenever the value for our variable contains a single character. In this case we only have m as our value. And also, guys, keep in mind that we placed our value within this single quotation. That's it. And now let's create another variable, and let's say we want to create a variable in which we will place the GPA of the student. So in this case, let's use double data type, and then let's name this variable as GPA, and then we have our equal sign, and then let's say the value for this variable will be 89.73, assuming that this will be the average grade of the student. Now another data type that we used is the double data type. Okay, so this data type can only be used whenever the value for our variable contains a number with a decimal places. Okay, so in this case we have 2 decimal places, so it's somewhat similar to int data type. It's just that double data type accepts a value or a number with 1 or more decimal places. And now let's say we want to create a variable that will indicate whether this student was able to pass this semester or not. So in this case, let's use Boolean data type, and then let's name this variable as passed, and then we have our equal sign, and then let's say its value will be true. So now we have the last data type that we used, and in this case we used Boolean data type. Okay, so you could, whenever you use Boolean data type for your variable, it is expected that you will only have 2 possible value for your variable. It's either it is true or false. So now in this case, I set true as the value for our variable, assuming that John Cruz was able to pass this semester. And now let's begin printing out each value of our variables. So now I'm back, guys, and what I just did is that I'm printing out each value of our variable, and also what I did here is I'm doing this what we call concatenation. So basically what concatenation mean is that you're just joining a string with the value of another variable. So in this case we have this string right here. So as you can see, it was being placed within a double quotation, so this is a string value, and then I'm just joining it with the value of this variable by using this plus symbol. So now let's try to run our program. Let me just save it. Okay, and then let's click this one to run our program. So now we have here, guys, we have successfully run our program. So as you can see, we have printed out all the value of our variables. So that's it for our video, guys, and on the next video I will be showing you how to do the basic arithmetic operation, and also I will be showing you how to get an input from the user. So that's it, guys. Thank you for watching, and see you on the next video.